So this is the ShengShou Crazy 3x3 V2. So I'm not exactly sure what the difference is going to be compared to the V1. I remember the V1 being like, it felt quite difficult to solve until you realise actually it's not. But let's have a look at the V2. So what turns with what? Okay, so if I turn this layer, that layer turns. If I turn that layer, okay, so from WCA orientation, right. Okay, but we can see that this layer is staying in place. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Can you just turn it right? No, you can't. You can't turn it completely. Okay, phew. That would be concerning. Okay, so the layer you're turning doesn't turn with the puzzle. So does that mean if I reverse a checkerboard pattern in a different way, it won't solve? No. Okay, good. Okay, right. So if I do the spots doesn't work. Okay, interesting. So if I do the spots twice, then usually it should solve now. Okay, no, it's still solving, even though it's not properly doing the spots. Okay, right, so what else? So the center of the layer doesn't turn with the layer you're turning. Let's just scramble it. So I guess I'm going to find out what happens the hard way. Right. Okay. Okay, so that's there. So if I just literally solve the blue cross and then line it up, but of course these aren't actually lined up, are they? And I can of course just insert more blue pieces, but that's not going to solve much at all. I suppose that should be there, but then there's another blue piece there. Okay, this is probably going to be very, very fiddly. Right, let's solve that there. Okay, I've got the corner. Can I get an edge? Or ideally the edge. How do I get that edge in there? Because when I turn this, that's going to turn, that isn't. So if this isn't going to turn when I turn the layer, then that means that's going to remain there. So how can I exploit that? There we go. I mean, it's gone in the wrong place, but I guess that's the theory behind it. If I'm inserting that like that, then that's not going to turn and I can move it in place. But obviously if I turn that, that's not going to turn with it. So I've got to get this piece here, but I can't, because the layer does not turn. So the center of the layer does not turn with the layer you're turning, which is very confusing and like the sort of thing you're going to really struggle to understand until suddenly maybe something's going to click. I don't know, maybe. Right. So I've got this yellow piece here, but of course if I turn that, then it's going to fail. How do I get this blue, this orange blue, to go with this orange here. So maybe, no, of course, that doesn't solve anything. If I get that down there, then I can move that down there, move that down there, that up. Okay, right. Now let's do the same with this green here. So I've got that solved. Now the white is in a different orientation, so I'm going to have to try and get it to change its orientation. Right, okay. There we go. So the cross is actually correctly solved now. That's a relief. Okay. So, how am I going to do this? So can I just do the corner twisting algorithm here? Not really, because that doesn't solve. Let's just try and do F2L, just out of interest. Oh, okay. Now it solved itself correctly. Is that always going to be the case, though? I have a feeling it won't be, but it could be. Knowing puzzles like this, you'd be surprised. Let's just try and do F2L. Okay, okay. F2L, F2L, yep. Right. F2L, okay. Shall we try? I mean, I'm on to OLL. Somehow F2L was surprisingly easy. Far easier than I expected. Let's do the OLL algorithm. Okay, it hasn't messed it up. Okay. Okay. Right. So how am I going to do this PLL? I guess I've got to go by these pieces and not the circular pieces in the circle. So if we go by those pieces, we can see very clearly here this is a Y perm. So let's just do a Y perm. And it solves. Okay. So I think the only challenge here is figuring out how to solve the cross. Once you've solved the cross, F2L, OLL and PLL just basically solve themselves, and it just feels a bit weird when that happens. That's it really. I think that's quite similar to what I remember of the ShengShou Crazy 3x3 V1, just had a much smaller circle in the middle. But maybe this mechanism with the larger circle is actually better. I think it's far less likely for pieces to pop out because of the larger circles. That's one problem I noticed with the Crazy 3x3 V1. But it's nice to see that it's not too difficult to solve. It's just an interesting challenge that some people are going to like. So if you're interested in that, by all means get it. But yeah, there's lots of other non-WCA puzzles available that most people might prefer. And I think this is too expensive to be in a mystery puzzles box anytime soon, unless I start like a £10 or £15 or £20 mystery puzzles box. You never know, but I don't know if there's enough interest in that for me to start doing that. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share and subscribe.